Call the May meeting to order. I'd like to recognize it. First of all, I'm gonna call on Commissioner Cookwood to open us up with a prayer, please.
All right, y'all bow your heads. Dear Lord, thank you so much for allowing us to be here on your beautiful, gracious day. Thank you earlier for our fallen officer memorial service, their sacrifice to this agency, and bless their families. And please let us now make the right decisions in order to better all the outdoor activities for the citizens of Mississippi. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Commissioner Cookwood. Recognize a few guests we have today, most particularly Representative Kincaid, the chairman of the committee on the House side. He looks after our back, believe me. He's there. That's what it's all about. And we appreciate you, Representative Kincaid. Really do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much for your hard work. I represent my friend and my neighbor, Coach Bob Tyler. Glad to see you here. Got Max Sage with the legislative budget already. Glad you're here. And with Chris McDonald with he's the hog man now at the ag business. And I think I saw Ed Penny come in from DU. A lot of these are former employees here. When I first started 8 years ago, these guys were right in the middle of running this show. Now they're branched out. So glad all the guests are here. And and they're my good friend just came in, Ben Thompson. We're glad you're here. Thank you, sir. He looks after our business too at the legislature. I'm presiding today because Chairman Munger he said a couple of years ago, he made a commitment to meet some people in Mexico to go turkey hunting. So that's why he's on the phone with. This is an international meeting we're having, y'all, by the way. And so Munger, he's listening, and we're glad he's here.
Mr. Chairman, I did see Mr. Thompson with the Mississippi State hat on a couple of weeks ago. Just want to, for the record.
Was he drunk?
Just saw him.
I don't know. You must have been on it. You went all the way to Whitfield, were you? I don't know. Anyhow, whatever. All right, I'll entertain a motion for the minutes.
Motion.
And I'll make a second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Today's agenda.
I'll make a motion that we accept today's agenda.
Is any changes in it, Mr. Posey?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Where's Jason? I thought I saw him come in. Hey, Jason Thompson, give us a good report on license sales.
Chairman, Commissioners, report for the month of April shows that our revenue is up $300,000 from last year. Resident license sales are up 1%. WMA permits are up 3%. Three-day freshwater fishing license is up 7%, and senior exempt licenses are up 11%. Non-resident license sales are up 4%. That's $445,000 more than last year. Both fishing licenses are up. The 3-day is up 5%, and annual freshwater fishing is up 3%. The spring non-resident spring turkey permit is up $147,000, and the annual all-game license and the 7-day all-game license are both up 5%. Our permit category is down 3%, and lifetime licenses are down 6%.
Tell me one more time what you said about the out-of-state turkey. Did that have anything to do with us setting up this special hunt up in North Mississippi?
Well, that's due to the increase that happened in
That's what
October.
the reason we got
Yes,
the
sir.
increase.
So $147,000
How much?
was the increase. $147,000.
It was a good idea somebody had.
At the bottom of your report, WMA downloads for FY22, 13,681, 10,426 iOS users, and 3,255 Android users. $53,834 set up for auto renewal this year, and license packages, 27,248 sold this year compared to 22,605 last year. Any questions?
The auto renewal customers, is that almost 1,000 more this year than last year?
Yes, sir. Last year, 45,000, so close to 10,000.
Anybody else have any questions for Jason?
Good report.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
That's what makes the agency run, right there. Any public comments? Anybody in the audience, public comments? I don't have any. We get a lot of comments, but maybe there's nobody here today. Russ, what's wrong?
Mr. Coster, last month we brought to you 3 proposed rules, and we bring another one to you today, but we'll do the proposed rules first. First one we brought to you last month was whitetail deer seasons and bag limits, and one change, primary change in that rule was the velvet season. We received no public comments on those, and so we would move that you make those final today if you so choose. Rule 2.2, whitetail deer seasons and bag limits.
We'll do them one at a time.
Or we can do all 3.
Yeah, let's do them one at a time, I think.
Yeah, I need to,
Commissioner Benson.
I'm a little confused. Which one are we doing first, Russ?
Rule
Are you
2.2.
familiar with the one I voted against?
Yeah.
I am, sir.
Okay, just bring that to my attention so I don't get confused.
All right, so first one will be Rule 2.2, whitetail deer seasons and bag limits, which would be the seasons for 22-23 season as well as the special velvet season.
With the special velvet season. Okay, is there a
Look,
motion?
I'll move we adopt that.
I'll make a second.
All right, the motion's been made and second. Anybody against it? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. You got that one, Russ?
So the next one will be Rule 8.4. That is the license rule that applies to non-residents. So we brought to you last month a proposal to increase the non-resident deer permit to $50, which would be in line with non-resident state turkey permit, which would also include now the special velvet season. So Rule 8.4, we received no public comments on that. So we would move that it be voted as final if you so choose today, Rule 8.4.
Okay, any discussion? Anybody would like to make a motion?
So move.
Motion been made, is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second. Anybody want to vote no? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
carried. We got you, Munger.
The third one we brought to you last month is WMA Rules and Regulations, Rules 1.1 through 1.45. And we received no public comments on those. Commissioner Benson, you said you may have some questions on that.
No, I didn't want to make sure, I didn't want to miss voting no.
Okay.
I didn't get confused.
All right, so we would move that it be voted final today if you so choose, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion?
Second.
Okay. Is anyone opposed?
Me, Vince.
Mr. Vince votes no. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Final thing for us today is Rule 7.1. That should be in your binders there. This rule has to do with nuisance animals. So as you know, the legislature passed a bill this session that would ban the movement of live hogs, live wild hogs. And so our rules need to reflect the change in that statute per that bill. So Rule 7.1, there are several things that we propose in there, and I'll go through those. If you're looking at the bill, should be page 2 of your bill. And you'll see section F3 there. So this is not necessarily, this doesn't pertain to wild hogs here, but we needed to amend this language. If you're looking at that rule there, section F, part 3. We are adding in here that coyotes and fox must be possessed. I need a minute to get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
What tab is it on?
It's not, it's not.
It's on the 5?
Yeah.
I need to go
And I think it'll be the first rule,
Well, what
first thing in
fence
there.
too?
in. Okay.
Okay.
First thing in that tab. Rule 7.1, again, section F3. So we have, in Mississippi, we allow coyote and fox pens, and the individuals sell those animals to those pens to train their dogs. So we're wanting to amend this language while we have this rule open. And you'll see section F3 there states that coyote and fox may be possessed by licensed fur trappers for the sole purpose of transporting and selling to MDWFP licensed coyotes and fox enclosures. So basically clarifying that if you want to possess those animals, fox or coyote, then you have to be a licensed fur trapper. The second part of that is possession cannot be over 30 consecutive days. So if you have a fox and coyote, you want to sell it to a pen, you can't hold it any longer than 30 days. If you're going to sell it, you go ahead and sell it inside of that 30-day time frame. So that's the first part of that rule that we propose to amend.
Mr. Chairman, I got a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
No.
Go ahead.
Okay. Russ, on the three licensed fur trappers and transporting and selling to a fox pen. So what begs the question to me is if a coyote or fox that's caught in the wild eats a deer that has CWD and we bring it into an enclosure, is there a possibility of transmitting CWD biologically into that enclosure area?
It's possible that the prions could be ingested by that animal, be a coyote, and it can be excreted in that pen. But if it's just one deer that they ate, and the likelihood of it being infecting that pen is going to be very, very, very slim.
My point, I'm for that. I'm for transporting coyotes and bringing them and selling them and having fox pens. But I'm trying to look big picture here of some of our other rules that we do with our high fences and our deer farms. So I just want to be consistent when we make decisions. We're making a decision to transport a coyote or a fox that could possibly transmit CWD disease, but we can't transport a deer right now. Is that correct? From pen to pen, because we're worried about transferring CWD disease. So all I'm trying to say is I'm asking the commission and the department, if we're going to be consistent on our rules, let's be consistent all the way around, not just because the high fence business is the buzzword now. We're making a rule now that's totally contradicting what we're doing with deer that quite possibly transmit CWD into high fences. So anyway, that's my point. I'm trying to make us try and be consistent. I'm no biologist, but I think you're smart enough to understand where I'm coming from.
Sure, and the transportation of these animals is already legal. This is simply just clarifying, if you're gonna have them in possession, you gotta have a fur trapper license, you can't hold them.
I'm for that. I'm for them selling, transfer, whatever they need to do, but why can't we transfer deer right now?
Well, I think the threat there is exponentially greater than moving some coyote around.
Okay, all right, that's it, that's the only question.
But, a question, the coyote and the wolf is still the ownership of the state of Mississippi,
That's correct.
just like the white-tailed deer.
That's correct. But they're still animals that are regulated by the agency, correct?
Okay. So you're opening up to sell, animals, correct?
Although their classification is not the same for coyote and fox, they're classified as nuisance animals, not as game animals like white-tailed deer or wild turkeys.
There might be a lot of farmers call them nuisance. Yeah. Just all a play on words, really.
Go ahead, Russ.
Second part of that is going to be Section G, Part 2. Again, this is where we clarify the language to reflect the statute in that wild hogs cannot be trapped and released anywhere and otherwise transported alive in the state. And if you are going to keep them, live, if you do trap them and you want to keep them alive, then it has to be from the property board. And so if you catch them on your property, you wanna hold them, feed them out, and you have to do that from the property of origin. Part 3 there, again, you cannot transport hogs within the state or otherwise release them. The next page there, under section, or part 4, G4, part C, you'll see that, so in the past several years, if you wanted to trap hogs inside of a CWD management zone and use feed to do so, that you had to get an animal control permit to do that. We're adding this language in the nuisance animal rule to reflect that policy that we've had for the past several years. And that would be if you want to trap hogs in a CWD zone and use bait or feed to do so, that you have to get an animal control permit through the agency, similar to how we issue ACPs for crop depredation. So those are the 3 primary changes to this rule, amendments to this rule. We would ask that you vote those as proposed today if you so choose.
Motion.
I make a second.
Motion been made and second.
Hey, Russ.
Hey, go ahead, Billy.
Yeah, Russ, yeah, sorry, Billy. So on the hog deal, from to get the permit, they just go through the online process?
That's-
Get a permit to trap hogs in the CWD zone, that's how it works?
That's correct. They would use the normal process that you get for an ACP for deer depredation or any other type of depredation. That's correct.
Okay, and then would an officer go out into the property, inspect it, or for nuisance, or do you know how it would work in reality? Is that how it would work?
Not all of the hog permits are necessarily checked on the ground, but if our officers do encounter them in a CWD zone, then they can certainly verify that they have that ACP.
Yeah. So and unlike the depredation, it wouldn't always necessitate an on-site visit. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
Okay. Thanks. That's all. That's my question. That's good.
Good. Thank you, Billy. All right, there's been a motion made and second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thanks, Chairman.
Thank you, Russ. Brother Brown, fish man.
Mr. Chairman, if I can ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Keep me straight on when we get to the duck hunting when.
Okay,
Wow.
we'll do them separately like we just did
Okay.
wildlife, if that's all right with everyone. So last month's meeting, good morning, or good afternoon, I should say. At last month's meeting, we brought 2 different rules for fisheries, proposed rule changes. The first one was Rule 1.3, which is our sport fishing rule. We have received no public comments on that rule and recommend that the proposed changes be adopted as final.
All right, is there any more questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion been made and a second. Motion made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. The next proposed rule change that we brought forth was Rule 2.1. This is our state fishing lakes regulation.
Yeah.
The only change in that one was we were setting the waterfowl hunting days at Lake Oklahoma to Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays with shooting times ending at noon. Again, we have received no public comments on this rule change as well, proposed change, and recommend that it be adopted as final.
Okay, now this one, okay,
So no.
the motion's been made and second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Vince, no.
Your motion voted aye, okay.
All right.
How voted aye?
Yeah,
Okay.
they got it.
All right, at this time,
Motion
if you
carried, by the way, through.
At this time, if you allow me, I would like to recognize 2 of our employees. First one is going to be the Fisheries Biologist of the Year. And this person began working for the Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks in 2014. She is a fisheries biologist in the South region, covering the South and the coastal areas. She is highly motivated and takes on responsibilities such as writing numerous articles for Mississippi Outdoors magazine, one of which resulted in her becoming our fly fishing go-to person for the state. She had got a lot of attention on a fly fishing article she did. She's made some podcasts for social media on fly tying, and giving presentations to, fly fishing groups down on the coast. She's always eager to work with organizations and provide educational opportunities such as science camps with the Nature Conservancy, to celebrate the Gulf event with the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, and judging regional science fairs. She uses professionalism when interacting with private pond owners and producing management reports to help them achieve their goals. She also represents our Bureau and our whole agency on several committees, including the Southern Division of the American Fisheries Society Catfish Management Technical Committee, the MDWFP Uniform Committee, and the MDWFP DEI Committee. So to quote her supervisor, Samantha has made my job easier by taking on every assigned task and more. She is easy to supervise because she has embraced ownership of the South Region Fisheries Project and her independent initiative to make the region run more effectively. She deserves this recognition for her efforts that go above and beyond her normal duties. So we would like to present the 2021 Fisheries Biologist of the Year Award to Samantha Bergeron. We'll be presenting a plaque, which many of you may have seen on these pictures on social media lately, and they will be in Mississippi Outdoors, of her kayak, and she loves to kayak streams, and we'll also be giving her a gift certificate to Bass Pro Shop. So
Awesome. Mr. Chairman.
Samantha, you wanna make any comment? You're the best looking one we've had here in a long time. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I could add Samantha, I haven't had the opportunity to meet Samantha. I've heard a lot about her. She is down my way, which probably makes her a little nervous having to deal with me, but, I had the opportunity to visit with, what's the fly fishing, the group?
Gulf Coast Fly Fisheries.
They could not say enough about this young lady right here, and I didn't know her. I've been supposed to get with you and meet with you and talk about a few things, but I just want, sometimes we get letters like that, but I personally heard the directors of that organization, they could not speak highly enough about it. So we appreciate that. We appreciate the professionalism and how much you're appreciated by that organization too. So.
Good. Good job, Samantha. Good, Jerry.
All right, unfortunately, the next person was not able to be with us today, but I gave him told him about the link on the website, so hopefully he may be watching, but this
He's probably gone fishing.
He may be sitting in front watching. This is our lake manager of the year. Y'all know we have a state fishing lake program. We have 20 lakes across the state, and they all do a great job, but we always try to recognize someone that's just done outstanding for the year. This employee began working for the agency in 2012. Not only does he manage a state lake, he manages two, Lake Bill Waller and Lake Columbia, both in Marion County. Both of these facilities always score very high on our annual inspections of the facility. The grounds are always kept immaculate. You never see the grass or anything out of order at these facilities. Not only does he manage those two lakes, but he also assists his supervisor by doing inspections of the dams in the grounds in another lake, Lake Walthall. He routinely volunteers to assist other lake managers, biologists, and other bureaus. Some of the examples are, he has helped law enforcement with search and rescue details for lost hunters, like Bill Waller, Columbia, or within the Marion County WMA. So he's always eager to assist fisheries biologists with population sampling, or biologists say you don't shock his lake without him on the boat. He has assisted on Marion County WMA with planning food plots and other activities, assisted law enforcement with nuisance alligator removals, and routinely assist other managers with cutting trees and cleaning up debris after storms or helping for special events. So I would like to congratulate Dustin Brumfield. He will be receiving our 2021 Lake Manager of the Year Award, and Samantha works down there in that area, and we'll make sure he gets his certificate and his gift card.
Good.
All I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Number 84, Andre Hollis.
Good evening.
Good evening, buddy.
Last month, we proposed a fee change with our state parks fees for camping at, Buccaneer only. We wanted to go from $45 to 85, a range from 85 to $190, only for the Gulf View sites. And it's 44 of the view sites that we got there. So we wanted to recommend that, the new fees be adopted.
Would you have any public comment?
No, sir, no public comment, sir.
Motion.
Second.
Motion been made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
All right, thank you, sir.
When will they, be completed?
We hoping to have.
I was down there,
Yes, sir.
a week or so ago. Great park,
Yes, sir.
very, very proud how well it's kept.
Yes, sir. We hoping to have them ready to go by May the 30th. It's the target date right now. So right now, we still on schedule for that. We had a few little issues, but I think that, we're able to get there with no problem.
Thank
May the 30th is the date we shoot.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I kind of want to give an update too on some of, last month I wasn't able to give a report on the revenue, so I want to kind of go through that too this month. The gross monthly revenue comparison, for April 2022 is $850,240 compared to last year, the same month, $821,116. So it was a difference, an increase of $29,124 per month. The gross revenue comparison for the year, for this year, 2022, was $7,984,888 compared to last year at the same time, $6,404,203. So we got an increase of 1.5 right now
That's awesome.
for state parks. So we're still doing good. In the next 2 months, we look for it to be even better.
Great job.
That's growth revenue.
Yes, sir, gross revenue, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're excited about that. And we look forward to the next 2 months.
And you gonna be through down on that Buccaneer by the end of this month?
Yes, sir, that's the goal right now. Like I said, we're still on schedule, and that's right now what the contractor's telling us, May the 30th.
Anybody got any more questions for Andre? Thank you, buddy.
All right, thank you, sir.
Josh?
Yes, sir. Commissioners, glad to give you a little update from our group from last month. First off, some of our outreach efforts for the month of April. One thing to really highlight is we sponsored and attended the Spring Tourism Summit in Natchez that last month. And this has been a really good opportunity for our team to build some relationships, especially Jennifer Shao has made a lot of connections with other visitor bureaus throughout the state, especially on the coast. It's fostered a relationship with coastal Mississippi. We'll be going down in June, hopefully to do a content day at the water park to further promote getting out and enjoying the state park water features for the summer. Also, just provide some more support via live and photography at a few other meetings there. Another thing that we started, actually first event this month was the Agency of Women's at the Range program. This is an opportunity for women at the Jackson office at the museum and around the state to come and get the basic 100 level handgun class from our staff at Turcotte. We had, I think, 9 people show up this week to participate in that, and just everyone loved it. They want to go back and do the 200, and we talked about like getting concealed carries and all that type of stuff. So we've got several more of those throughout this month that we'll be posting, and plan on trying to adapt that and learn from that for promoting the ranges to women in the public too. So great activity there. Email messaging continues to do good. April's always our kind of our lull month for email newsletters, but still outperforming what we did last year. Still going to crank on that, coming up with some more voting registration focused messaging for this month than the next. Facebook stats, we had a viral post in April. I don't know if y'all saw the 131-pound catfish that was caught That actually got us up to 7.2 million people reached in the month of April, which is, we're gonna have to put an asterisk next to all of our Facebook stats from now on because it really blew everything out of the water that we've ever done. It got picked up nationally on all types of channels and everything, highlighting that massive catfish. And I'll show you a photo here in a little bit. So those are some of the more notable posts. Of course, we are ramping up our state park Instagram. We've been trying to do, we visited Roosevelt this month and did a few live real videos of the folks doing improvements on cabin 8 and 12. So just trying to get people engaged on what's going on throughout state parks, throughout the state, and wildlife fisheries and law enforcement. So first ever, well, second ever, I would say, fish on the cover of Mississippi Magazine coming up. So y'all should have gotten this, I believe, in the mail by now. But Blythe Summers, our staff photographer, went out and got this photo with some of the Fisheries Bureau guys. Who caught the fish? I think Christian Shirley, is that who caught it? Him or Brooks caught it. So.
I thought Mr. Pugh might be.
Oh, no, we've got to get Mr. Pugh out there and see if we can show up Christian. But really excited about the photography we were able to get. I mean, we've tried for years to get fish on covers and stuff. So I'm excited about what we're getting there. And there's some highlights from the upcoming issue, too. There's some shoots that we did in the month of April. One thing that we do, we have a contract videographer. He's a young guy. He's been going to all the parks, or trying to get all the parks, and doing a video walkthrough. So you can kind of post that, and people who may be from out of state can come and see kind of what they're going to be able to experience when they come to state parks. A lot of this is like experience-driven type imagery, like the lakes and people enjoying their time camping out. So that stuff, and then also we're working on our new sponsorship videos for next season. So some photography. This is Bruce. Meet Bruce the bear. They trapped him on the Hannah in April, and Blythe was able to go down with the crew and capture some good photos and show the work that the bear program does there. So big old guy down in the Delta. There's that 131-pound blue cat from the river. That guy, I think, got more calls than he's ever gotten before from news agencies throughout the month of April. But then also we're trying to do some more highlighting on our hog program. You might know the back of that head, that's Randy Taylor. He actually got one of our Mississippi gobblers for us to continue to get some creative for next year's promoting wild turkey hunting in Mississippi. So, and then always we try to go and cover the MSSP program for the state. So it's kind of what we did in the month of April, and some stuff we got coming. We're excited about the summer and the team. We're gonna get some stuff rolling. So any questions on anything?
Good job.
All right.
Good
Yeah.
job.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, buddy. Good job. Colonel Carter, by the way, that ceremony we had today was
Really, really good.
second to none. You'd be complimented. I know y'all spent a lot of time preparing it, and it went along. And it's my favorite program of the year.
Thank you, sir.
It's really good.
It's an honor. Thank you very much. Commissioners, Law Enforcement Bureau report for the May Commission meeting, and it reads as follows. On our license and compliance checks for the month of April, there were a total of 706 citations issued. The top 5 being 198 for no license, 71 for unlawful possession, 64 for trespassing, 45 for boat registration, and 38 on PFD violations. Officers are really out there this month, past month in full force. They're doing a great job.
Tell me, what would unlawful possession this time of year? There's no hunting season. I mean, what?
Fair on the turkeys?
Turkeys?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Harvest report. Yes, sir.
Failure to report the turkey. That's what you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Check, harvest check.
That's it.
All right, that's it.
On our next page is for the month of April, again shows you some of our enforcement efforts. Our officers focus details on major waterways and reservoirs.
Officers focused their efforts on crappie fishing. Numerous citations were written for no license and slot limit violations exceeding the bag limit. I think this is in Hines County. Look like Officer Cotton. Oh, correction, that's down South Mississippi. I recognize the officer there. This here is Officer Talent and Officer Evans. They made a case over here on Enid on a over daily bag limit on a crappie case there in Enid. Subject there, you see a cooler. The officers noticed a truck that was backed off in a wooded area there along the lakeside. And in the process, Officer Talent exited the vehicle. Other officer left the area and waited for the subject to return to the vehicle. And then which he did, the officer stepped down and proceeded his investigation and noticed this subject had over the daily bag limit on crappie there at Enid Lake. Subject was about 75-year-old male from Lawrence County. Charges, case is still pending at this time.
He was catching the limit, coming out and putting them in his cooler.
Basically,
and get him another.
and get another. So he exceeded the daily bag limit of 10. He exceeded it all the way up to 10 of the daily bag limits up to 10. 7 is the daily bag limit, but he went up to 10. And we caught him as well with additional fish, red snapper, redfish, shrimp, so forth and so on. So the officer's still investigating it as we speak. Yes, this other picture here is in South Mississippi. Officer Keith Bonds received a picture from a camera that they had placed on the Jackson County Reservoir. They had been getting some complaints of people trespassing in the area. They did catch this subject. The subject was issued citations for exceeding the bag limit, illegal possession, and I think also trespassing. And this is his third time being caught on that same area there.
All right, is his license suspended?
We don't know yet, sir. We're going to check into that as well.
Colonel, that reservoir we're talking about, is that the power company reservoir?
I think that's what it is, yes,
Okay,
sir.
then that's a private reservoir?
Well, according to what I spoke with a major, there are some areas that they can fish in that area, some part of the roadway that they can fish off on the side of that road. But this subject, they don't allow people. I think he went beyond that, and that's where he came in with the trespassing.
My point is, if it's a private reservoir, how do we have a creel limit on private reservoirs? Is that, Doug?
It's statewide limits on any public water.
Right.
But it's private.
If you can access it, and they do allow access, then it's got a public quality to it. So you would be.
I'm not giving you a hard time.
No, sir. No, sir.
That's been a big deal down the coast for
Yes,
everybody. Everybody wants to fish that reservoir.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
And, you know, but it's been, everybody says it's a private reservoir. And I'm trying to find out if it's private or public.
Yes, sir. On our shooting ranges, we report for the month of April 10th, 2022 to April to May 8th of 2022. MacGyver had a total of 291 customers. Turcotte had a total of 614 customers. McHenry had a total of 394 customers. On our last page, we've got a proposal as it relates to the area there at the Jordan River. This time I'm going to yield the floor to our legal department. This is dealing with Rule 2.6.
Good afternoon, Commissioner. Back in 2019, actually beginning before then, but we passed final Rule 2.6, Part 4 of the Title 40 of Mississippi Administrative Code, which established no-wake zones or a no-wake zone on the Jordan River. Since that time, since that rule was adopted, we've run into some difficulties with the ambiguity of the definition of where that no-wake zone existed. Also, Hancock County wanted to add an additional no-wake zone at McLeod Park. They reached out to Commissioner Bentz. He was able to facilitate a meeting with our newly commissioned Lieutenant Keith Socher down there. As a result of that meeting and figuring out exactly where these no-wake zones needed to be, Lieutenant Socher went out and took GPS coordinates and established what you see in front of you as these two no-wake zones. Number one is the one in front of McLeod Park. There is some public swimming there, and also a boat ramp. We have a boat ramp down there, so it looks like a long no-wake zone, but Lieutenant Socher assured us that it is definitely necessary over its entire length. And then number two over there is in front of the Steamer Restaurant, and that was the original no-wake zone that this rule established, and now it's been defined where it'll be enforceable. So,
And just the McLeod Park, for those of you that aren't on the commission that aren't aware of it, that's a county-owned park down there. Very, very, very successful. A lot of people come. I mean, it's constantly full down there. And this is a definite need on that waterway right there for sure. So I appreciate it. And it wasn't only just Lieutenant Socher. I reached out to Conservation Officer Haley Tompkins first.
yes,
And she was very instrumental, and she's the one that brought Socher involved with it. But I want to commend our legal team and our law enforcement team for what they did to help us bring this before and have it proposed to this commission.
Is there any more discussion? Do I have a motion?
You got a motion?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Good.
Any opposed?
Aye.
The motion carries.
thank you.
Doug, I do have one question, because I know it's kind of a little different than most of them. Is the steamer still in the 30-day period, comment period, or is it enacted because?
The previous rule is in effect until this one goes into effect.
Okay.
But what I would advise our officers to do is use these definitions, these boundaries, if they're gonna pursue enforcement.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for law enforcement?
Thank you, Colonel.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all for your support.
All right. Those, we got any other business?
Well, just one quick correction. We are gonna meet next, for the June commission meeting, Wednesday, June 22nd. It's right in the deal, but it's marked on the calendar on the 23rd, so it would be the 22nd.
That's the afternoon meeting at,
No, that's gonna be the morning that we're traveling on, that some of the commissioners
Yeah.
are traveling on to Tennessee, so I'm gonna suggest, we can get with you on time, but probably around 11 o'clock or so to start the meeting, at least by 10:30, 11 o'clock, no later than 11 o'clock, to have a commission meeting, give time to travel on to Tennessee for the joint commission meeting with other states.
Commissioner Monger, are you planning on going on up with the joint meeting in Tennessee after the regular meeting?
Yeah,
Okay, I am
yeah.
too. I plan on going, but I know there'd be at least two of us going. And Cookwood's iffy. You don't know yet. But 22nd, we just say around 11 o'clock.
Yeah, we just say 11 o'clock, and we say we need to set it back, we will.
Okay.
And we
Where
will,
will that one be?
it's at the McIver,
It's north of Batesville. Right up 51, a big sign, take a left, they take you right to it.
Up there close to you,
Real close to me.
2.5 hours.
Yeah,
spend the night with him.
Not
2 hours,
taking you up all night.
2 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Do I gotta go into Oxford to get there?
You don't
I
have
can
to.
skirt around it, right?
You turn off at the basement.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure I didn't have to go
I
in.
don't want you to get in Oxford and get all that culture over there.
Don't worry, that's never gonna be an issue.
What about it? Do we need executive
Yes,
session?
sir, we do.
Mr. Chairman, you need to entertain a motion to close the meeting to determine the need for executive.
Motion made
I'll make it second.
and a second.
All
All in favor?
Aye.
We're finna go into executive.
Give me a gallon of red commission
Ladies and gentlemen, the commission has closed the meeting to determine the need for executive